all of you tonight. I can't tell you how thrilled we are. We've been working so hard to make this show happen, and here we are tonight, and pretty soon it'll be over. I'd like to introduce you to Mercedes Ellington. And Mercedes, why don't you tell us a little bit about our show?
Well, okay, and many of you football fans have known the meaning of what triple threats are. Triple threats in football means that the players are capable of doing three things. Well, in show business, we have actors and dancers and singers, see right there, actors, dancers, singers, who do three things. And now on Broadway, you have to do all. Whereas in old Broadway, you had a singing chorus and an acting chorus and a dancing chorus. Not an acting chorus, but a singing chorus and a dancing chorus. But now everybody's got to do everything. So if you want to learn more about that, you have to go to Helen Gallagher's class and learn how to do this because she knows. So I want to welcome all of you, and we're taking you through an experience, and we're having that experience too. I want to thank the band, all the guys in the band. They want you to know that they do love you madly, and as we do. And we are going to present some people here for you tonight that are triple threats. Hopefully it will be entertaining to you. We have a few unexpected things. We're going to throw out a poem at you that you might not have realized that Duke Ellington was a poet, but he was. And so you'll be hearing that, possibly for the first time, and just introducing you to the many facets that are Ellington. And you've heard Latin music before, which was for Tito Puente and his birthday. I mean, we have a lot of birthdays here in April to celebrate. First and foremost, my sister's birthday was on April 22nd. Then we have the jazz birthdays of Tito Puente, Candido, and Ella Fitzgerald's birthday is today. And so Duke Ellington's birthday is the 29th. And that's about all the birthdays, right? I think that I know of. I mean, of course, oh yes, Shakespeare. Shakespeare's birthday was Saturday, yes. He was 450, I don't know. But anyway, I don't know if he was a jazz fan, but we remember him anyway. So, you were going to talk about something.
I don't know if I introduced myself or not. I'm Judy Mark, and I know a lot of you. I would like to acknowledge a very special person who was a friar here, a longtime friar. Her name was Phoebe Jacobs. Remember Phoebe?
Yeah.
Yes. She was a lover of jazz, and she did so many wonderful things. And she was also Peggy Lee's public relations person, which I found fascinating to listen to her stories about Peggy Lee. But when she interviewed me for the club 22 years ago, she was talking to me about Mercedes Ellington. You have to meet Mercedes. You two would hit it off. I said, oh, okay. But Mercedes wasn't a member at that time. But over the years, we got to know each other. And I got to tell you, she's a great date. When we go out to dinner, there's like no stopping. It's really fun. And she was very close with Mercedes to Phoebe, so we share Phoebe in common. I wanted to just remember her in that way. Well, let's see. Also, I'd like to mention about Tito Puente. I had the good fortune of working with Tito in a commercial many years ago in Queens at a restaurant called The Strand. And I was hired to be a dancer in that. And I can't tell you how much fun that was. I mean, usually it's take 1, take 10, take 12, and after a while you get a bit fatigued. But working with Tito Puente was awesome. It was great. So I think we have some music in his honor here tonight as well. All right.
So I'm going to talk about the band. Our band, there are only 5 of them, but they sound like a big band. Don't they sound like a big band? They're
absolutely incredible, and I've snatched some of them because they have played with my father. And then none of them are old, and I have to say this because none of them are old enough to have played with my grandfather, but there are others, those who played in After Midnight, if you remember that show, and some of the other jazz places and things around town. But I was just very happy to get them to get together because they know the Ellington songbook and the Ellington music, and they're pretty acquainted with it. And hopefully this is the beginning of a beautiful relationship that we shall have. And I'm glad because every time I call them up, they answer the phone. So, yeah, but they're just curious, you know. But I wanted to also point out the fact that when you were talking about Phoebe, Phoebe is what I call, I had 4 mothers. I had my grandmother, my mother's mother who raised me. I had my mother, my birth mother, and then I had Phoebe Jacobs, who taught me about the business, and then I had June Taylor, who disciplined me because she was a really strict person when it came to precision dancers. Precision dancers, including the Rockettes, are pretty much like soldiers. We get, you know, very, very lots of discipline in the dance era, and you would not think that you could equate dancing to soldiering, but that's the combination. And the Rockettes do a great job, except we were always rivals because we figured that we were better than the Rockettes because our music was faster. So Lisa wanted really, really fast music. So, but I still appreciate the Rockettes, and I just wanted to feel that this music that we're presenting tonight, with the generations that we're presenting, I'm hoping that these things get passed along to the younger generations so that they don't forget their heritage. After all, they have always, people in the business have known that jazz is America's folk music and that this is what came out of this country. We are presenting different points of view with this, and everyone, all of the people who come in to present their case before you will have different ideas about what they do and different presentations, and it's all good. So we have, should I introduce each of the, do I have to introduce each of them?
You did take it.
Oh,
I'll
great.
fight you over here.
What? Okay, we're going bit by bit and introduce you to the gentleman in the orchestra. And I get first dibs, so I wanted you to meet James Zoller. And he is the trumpet du jour. And he's from Kansas City, Missouri. I didn't know you were from Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Kansas City, one of the jazz spots. He's played with the Count Basie Orchestra, Tony Bennett, and Eddie Palmieri, to name a few. And of course, he's played with my father, and he's played at Broadway with After Midnight. And Judy, it's your turn.
Yeah, from South Carolina, Patience Higgins. A multi-reed player who plays all the saxophones, flutes, clarinet, oboe, and English horn. Performed in many Broadway shows, including Avenue Q, Dreamgirls, The Wiz, and The Sophisticated Ladies.
Okay, now we come to the rhythm section. Mr. Dave Gibson on drums. From Philadelphia. Debbie, how come we never heard from you? You didn't tell them about it. Okay, we have family in Philadelphia. Toured extensively and recorded with the Count Basie Orchestra, performed with Joe Williams, Diane Scher Trio, and the Woody Herman Orchestra.
On bass, Wilbur Bascombe from New York City. Playing numerous jazz, funk, and R&B recordings. Some are Jeff Beck, James Brown, B.B. King, Aretha Franklin, Nancy Wilson, to name a few.
Last but not least, our musical director, Mr. Frank Owens. He is a pianist, arranger, you name it, he plays it. From classical to jazz to Frank Owens. Frank all he needs to hear is your voice, and he can tell you what key you sing in. Okay. His credits.
I'm making my post.
Okay. His credits include the conductor pianist of Ain't Misbehavin' and of Sophisticated Ladies, and he was the first musical director of the David Letterman show. Anybody who remembers that? Also acted as musical director and arranger for Lena Horne and Petula Clark.
So now we are going to begin our show with a talented and lovely lady named Andrea Friars. She is a two-time Helen Hayes Award nominee. She performed leading roles in UB, For Colored Girls, Bring in the Noise, Bring in the Funk, and The Lion King. She's the star and writer of Me and Ella, her one-woman show that has bookings at various venues throughout the United States and ran at 54 Below. Tonight, joining her is her musical director, Ron Abel. A multi-award-winning composer, producer, arranger, orchestrator, and conductor, Ron currently has a show running in Chicago at the Drury Lane Theater, Hazel, a musical made in America, based on the popular 1960s TV series. They are performing Drop Me Off in Harlem and a medley from their show, Me and Ella.
Drop me off in Harlem, any place in Harlem. There's someone waiting there who makes it seem like heaven up in Harlem. I don't want your Dixie, you keep your Dixie. There's no one down in Dixie who can take me away from my hot Harlem. It's such a pleasure to be here tonight to honor Mr. Ellington and all of the other great jazz artists that I personally owe so much to. That number is from our show, Ron and I, called Me and Ella, and that's earlier on in the show when Ella gets a job with Chick-What's Orchestra. But later in the show, we have a medley that features one of Duke Ellington's songs, and You know, Ella was performing at the Macombo Club in Beverly Hills, and she, well, you know, you can be very successful and have love elude you, and so this medley kind of speaks to that. There's a message from my mister. Says he won't be coming home. Oh, me, oh, my, oh. My Macombo blues. Success can't ease the misery when a heart begins to roam. Oh, me, oh, my, oh. My Macombo blues. Marilyn, Frank, and Judy came to hear me sing. What I wouldn't give to hear the telephone ring. Oh, me, oh, my, oh. My Macombo blues. I want a Sunday kind of love. A love to last my Saturday night. I'd like to know it's more than love at first sight. I want a Sunday kind of love. I want a love that's on the square. Can't seem to find somebody to care. I'm on a lonely road that leads to nowhere. I need, oh, sweet and lovely lady, oh, baby, to me. Never treats me sweet gentle the way he should. I've got it bad and I ain't good. My
tough act to follow.
But Dejan Fields, he's going to follow this just fine. He's from Anchorage, Alaska, and presently living in Florida. Many people noticed throughout his life that he has a very striking resemblance to Sammy Davis Jr. He was encouraged by a Phoenix casino marketing company to create a song and dance tribute show. Sammy Tonight has played in various venues. Casinos in Las Vegas, the Fontainebleau in Miami Beach, the Palmer House in Chicago, Cork Opera House in Ireland, and his show won the Lounge Act Award, performed to sold-out audiences in Sarasota, Florida. He made a special trip to the Friars Club tonight, and I discovered him. He will be singing "It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing," and do nothing till you hear from me.
Good evening. It's indeed an honor and a pleasure to be here performing for you all this evening. This is an homage to Mr. Duke Ellington. Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. All you've got to do is there's no difference if it's sweet or hot. Take that rhythm, give all you got. It's only no thing if it ain't got that swing. If I have my facts correct, this next song was recorded and written by Mr. Duke Ellington, and it was released in 1944. Do nothing till you hear from me. Pay no attention to what I say. Why people tell us things are is over my head. Do nothing till you hear from me. At least consider our romance. If you should take the word of others you heard, I haven't a chance. True, I've been seen with someone new, but does that mean that I'm true when we're apart? Those words in my heart reveal how I feel about you. Some kiss make out my memory, and others don't stay hold me. But do nothing till you hear it from me. Never will. I've been seen with someone new, but does that mean that I'm untrue when we're apart? Those words in my heart reveal how I feel about you. Some kids may climb my memory, and other arms may hold the dream. But don't know until you hear it from me, and you never will.
Thank you. See what I'm saying about this new, new generation and their interpretation of the music? It's always interesting. I have the pleasure of introducing this next person whom I worked with many, many, many years ago in a little show called No, No, Nanette. Anybody remember No, No, Nanette? Your first, your eighth? Uh-oh. Did you all hear that? 8th birthday present. I can't even say it. I'm having a heart attack. Buster Davis. Oh. Okay, Lonnie, you got a hard way to go now. See, but don't kill anybody. Okay. We have the producer in the house, too. Okay, well, it's my pleasure anyway to introduce this next performer. Lonnie, where are you from? It says originally you're from New York?
79th Street between Amsterdam and Columbus.
There you go.
I'm coming to visit.
Yes.
Central Park West.
Well, I think that's still New York. I mean, there's certain borders. When you pass Fifth Avenue on the other side, the east side, I think that's California. But that's not yeah. So she's originally from New York, and a Broadway musical theater star, and all its, unbelievable. Lonnie captivated New York audiences in such coveted roles as Eva Peron. Would you like to be Eva Peron? Most hated woman. Anyway, but she was in Evita, and she was Grisabella in Cats, and her other Broadway credits include leading roles in The Magic Show, So Long 174th Street, No, No, Nanette, and George M. She has a successful one-woman show called Next to Normal, and she will be performing one of the most difficult songs in the Ellington songbook.
Oh, thanks.
Next to Abnormal. Sorry, it was Next to Abnormal. It has to be a turn on this. But anyway, she will be performing, not abnormally, but she's... Please welcome Lonnie Ackerman to the stage.
Thank you, Mercedes. This is an honor. To be playing with this orchestra. I'm like so overwhelmed. It's thank you guys, and thank you for asking me. Hi, Mom. Okay. I used to visit all the very gay places, those come what may places, where one relaxes on the axis of the wheel of life, to get the feel of life from jazz and cocktails. The girls I knew had sad and sullen gray faces, with gist and gay traces that used to be there. You could see where they'd been washed away by too many through the day. 12 o'clock tales. Then you came along with your siren song to tempt me to madness. I thought for a while that your poignant smile was tinged with a sadness of a great love for me. Ah, yes, I was wrong. Again, I was wrong. Life is lonely again, and only last year everything seemed so sure. Now life is awful again, a truffle of hearts could only be a bore. A week in Paris will ease the bite of it. All I care is to smile in spite of it. I'll forget you, I will, while yet you are still burning inside my brain. Romance is mush, stifling those who strive. I live a lush life in some small dive, and there I'll be while I rot with the rest of those whose lives are lonely too.
His name is Alex Cowings, and I asked him to come back because he broke the hearts of many women in here last year. And they're still trying to get over it. And he has, I'm going to now read what it says here. Growing up from the New York City hoofer tap scene, AC is AKA, furthered his dance education while sharing the stage with tap legends Peg Leg Bates, Jimmy Slide, Xavier Glover, Buster Brown, and Henry Latang. I paused for Xavier Glover because when I first started working with Xavier, he was 9. Now he's directing, and I don't know, where time goes. But the Copaesthetics was the name of another tap group of people who were all met together, and even if they worked or they didn't work, they would get together every week and share and steal and trade steps with one another. So this gentleman comes from that kind of tradition, and I also wanted to let you know that he hit the stage performing with his jazz singing parents, Kim Kalesti and Marion Cowings. Now, you're coming from a family like that, what are you going to do? You have to defend yourself. So what he did, in addition, was put on the tap shoes. And I'm very, very well absorbed the previous history of his family. And some of his theatrical credits include Rio and Nightingale. He performed atop the Standard Hotel, featured with the Hot Sardines, and with Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks at Town Hall. And he's making his return to the Friars Club, the second triple threat show, performing In My Solitude and I Let a Song Go Out of My Heart.
didn't know I did all that.
Thank you so much, everybody. It's called I Let a Breath Go Out of My Heart. I mean, I let a song go out of my heart. I know this is the Friars Club, and I'm really honored to be here. I'm starting to feel a bit broiled. Okay, but I'm not a quadruple threat, just a triple threat. I'm really just buying time to catch my breath. So thank you, everybody. But this next song is called Solitude. Bear with me. Hey, Grandma. She looks like my mom, though, so I shouldn't have called her out.
You know what Chuck Green said?
What's that, sir?
I'm not out of breath, the breath is out of me.
Yes, sir. In my solitude, you haunt me. With reverie of days gone by, in my solitude, you haunt me with memory that never dies. I sit and I stare. I'm filled with despair. I know there's no one could be so blue. With gloom everywhere, I sit and I stare. I know I'll soon go mad. In my solitude, I'm praying, dear Lord above, send back my love. Frank Owens on piano. I sit and I stare. I'm filled with despair. There's no one could be so sad. With gloom everywhere, I sit in my stare. I know that I'll soon go mad. In my solitude, you are. I'm praying, dear Lord above, send back my love. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Bill.
Oye, ¿cómo va? Mi ritmo, bueno para gozar. Mulato, mulato, mulato.
Originally from Cleveland, Ohio. She has Broadway credits ranging from George M. and No No Nanette to national tours Steel Magnolias and To Kill a Mockingbird. She recently staged Dreams Lost and Found for the musical theater department at Caldwell College in New Jersey. She will be performing with Mercedes tonight, a wonderful poem called The Green People and the Purple People. Now, I'd like to say a few words about Mercedes that she hasn't said already. Well, we all know she's originally from New York, and she's a choreographer, a director, producer, and historian with Broadway, off-Broadway, and regional credits. She is also a longtime member of the Friars Club. Her last Broadway appearance was in Sophisticated Ladies, and she choreographed Play On Broadway. She's the founder of the Duke Ellington Center for the Arts.
Oh, yeah. I forgot I had to give a history of this thing. Well, just to, okay, on January 1st, 1863, in Chicago, President Abraham Lincoln signed the final Emancipation Proclamation, which ended slavery in the rebelling states.